Much activity revolves around Chrisean, Blueface, and their son. Regardless of whether you have been following along from the beginning, or are just now becoming caught up, you will learn why people are concerned, why tempers are running high, and why this is more than simply a piece of celebrity soap. This very true story revolves around a child. In September 2023, Chrisean gave birth to her child. But tension was already high. What began as doubt and concern developed into a full-blown fear after their pregnancy was made public through court appearances and viral recordings. That had everyone talking on Instagram instead of only speculating. People were really afraid of what might happen to this infant. There was still turmoil, and the noise level was still high when he got there. The sound level rose a dot, just a moment. You already know the procedure if you are getting comfortable for this roller coaster. Get a snack and take a seat. You can try our snacks as well if you want to enhance the experience. Visit the website for butter toffee peanuts, freeze-dried chocolates, and bacon jerky smoked with applewood. Let's resume our talk now. As there is a lot to discuss, this tale is based on a protracted and tumultuous relationship. In addition to Chrisean, Blueface has been intermittently active for a long time with his ex-partners, Alexis and Jade. He already has 2 kids. The women's drama occasionally degenerated into terrible situations. First, there was the famous front tooth incident. Then Chrisean came out with a brand new tooth that bore the picture of Blueface. It was sloppy, in motion all the time, and openly visible. Chrisean's pregnancy announcement was seen by some as a turning point. The number of altercations may decrease. Perhaps the mayhem would simmer. The solution might be a baby. But if anything, the focus that was given to more serious. According to Blueface's social media claims, Chrisean drank alcohol while she was pregnant. According to him, she had an alcohol addiction, and once she was born, the baby would immediately revert to her previous behaviors. The fire was fueled by the comments made by media figures. DJ Academics accused her on camera of smoking and being obviously pregnant. When she spoke to him on the phone, videos of her drinking and smoking while pregnant, as well as clips from her reality show with Blueface went viral. The internet swung into full panic mode, with people pleading for help from anyone. It was not simply pearls that people were holding. The risks were being listed. Spending time with medical specialists will help you understand why so many individuals were afraid. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorders are the worst effects of alcohol consumption during pregnancy. These conditions might include low birth weight, behavioral and learning problems, developmental delays, and long-term neurological effects. They were critical comments. She was accused by some of being selfish. Some people thought that due to the instability in her life at the time, she shouldn't have been pregnant in the first place. The internet should be left alone, of course, according to some individuals. However, the worry was not abating. Afterward, the infant was born. The birth of Chrisean's child was streamed live on September 3, 2023. It was genuine, truthful, and went viral right away. People were transferred in large numbers. According to some, it should have been private. In the meantime, Blueface was seen enjoying himself in Miami. According to Chrisean, she hadn't even asked him to come to the hospital. On social media, she vowed to strongly defend her son and keep strange, unsupportive people away from him. Although Matt's attitude led to more supporters, it also created new opportunities for development. Criticism clapped back. But from what threat was he protected? Since the threat appears to be coming from the house right now, then Blueface's mother, Carlos, is confused shown. And a commenter named Kazan stated that he didn't need to be present when the kid was delivered, because he no longer wanted it. She basically told Chrisean that he would have to deal with the repercussions of being with someone who was already a parent, and warned him to keep his distance in order to protect Jaden. The fact that a grandmother was making news in public, rather than encouraging peaceful family conflict in real time online, upset a lot of people. 2 days after the baby was born, Chrisean was accused by Blueface of being egotistical. Should she for at least 30 days? He would go to court to ask for custody if he didn't take motherhood seriously and make significant changes. Although Chrisean maintained custody, the harmony was broken after taking her infant kid to a recording studio. She posted a picture of him cuddled up with small headphones. The internet utterly wrecked her, according to commenters. The surroundings were dangerous for a newborn. She said that he was safe and at ease in order to defend him. It's this. The first few weeks are very important for a baby. They essentially have no immune systems. Their inability to control their body temperature, and they're both light and noise, can easily overstimulate them. Hence, a lot of professionals advise keeping a newborn in a quiet, regulated setting. Following childbirth, the mother's body goes through a protracted period of intense recovery. Changes in your hormones make you more vulnerable to health issues. So, not all of the alarming comments were overly exaggerated. Some of them were actually trying to warn. The Walmart moment followed. According to TMZ footage, Chrisean put her son in a car seat without lifting his neck. While he slept, his head hung back. This was the type of video that quickly gained popularity and became viral. In her live response, she stated that instead of recording every time she slept, people would help her in real life and that she was stressed out from trying to juggle too much. Additionally, she claimed that the child's father was not assisting her. He had criticized her managerial style, but she didn't comprehend. A lot of days are rushed. Blueface did something that almost everyone considered extreme in the meantime. Using a picture of the baby's privates, he identified a medical issue and insisted that she correct it. His actions drew condemnation on the internet, suggesting that discussing a child's sensitive medical condition in such a way was completely inappropriate and possibly against the law. Chrisean later said that surgery was necessary to fix the problem, which was a hernia, that would never be resolved by posting the child's body online. But the spectators continued. Several people began making assumptions about the baby's potential fetal alcohol syndrome based on images and videos, pointing to his facial traits and posing as internet medical experts. Chrisean retorted that her boy was healthy, and that any issues would have been communicated to her by the real doctors. She was correct in her last remark. The diagnosis section is hardly ever used. But the public's anxiety did not materialize overnight. The course of the pregnancy had frightened them. The concern persisted even in the absence of a diagnosis, loud, unrelenting, and unrelenting. That's when the audience began to divide differently. To urge that Child Protective Services step in, some strangers became so alarmed that they started a petition called Protect the Innocent. Some believed that using the internet excessively and bringing in CPS would just exacerbate the situation. Further deterioration occurred in December 2023. Blueface and Jaden visited Christians. According to a plethora of posts and testimonies, when Hal arrived in the morning, he attempted to seize the infant. She left him to go to a party with a buddy, he claimed. She denied that he had mistreated her friend, recklessly left with the infant, and even crashed the car while the child was inside. The tales didn't make sense. Accusations mixed with doubt and panic. A baby in the middle once more, the closer. 2024 drew, the bigger the legal problems became. Blueface spent some time in jail after being discovered to have broken his probation. She and Chrisean were arrested in June 2024 on an unfilled warrant. According to TMZ and other sources, this implied that one parent was no longer actively involved and that the other parent was trying to keep it together or hold it down, depending on your point of view. Child Services reportedly intervened and took the infant out of her custody for a while. The child's placement details were kept confidential despite being formal. He was completely invisible on the internet for a few months. Even though it didn't allay the persistent worries about what was going on, many people applauded Chrisean's decision to keep him off the internet until she returned in September 2024. Far away. Calls to CPS reportedly increased by the middle of 2025. The most recent viral video purported to show a toddler sitting alone in a stroller on a beach late at night, and users guessed that it was around 3 in the morning. It was unclear what the context was. It was a short film. It was not angry. Responses came pouring in once more, with some asking for aid, others expressing compassion, and still others advising everyone to distance themselves from a family tragedy. A dot on the screen will never adequately explain it to them. Therefore, what occurs to a growing up in such an unstable atmosphere as a child? That is the question that remains unanswered once the uproar subsides. Early childhood is more than simply adorable pictures and little shoes. It is a part of how the brain is wired. During the early years, children develop their fundamental beliefs about safety, love, and the regularity of the world. Calm routines, consistent care, and emotionally present caregivers all contribute to a person's sense of security. The converse is true for ongoing stress, uncertainty, and humiliation in public. They may leave behind symptoms like behavioral problems, sleep problems, and delayed growth, tantrums, and trouble establishing bonds with others. The youngster always attacks when the grown-ups choose chaos over order. This does not mean that a change of course is impossible, or that the story is over. Adversity can be overcome by many families with the correct help. But let's face it, what does support really look like? The next viral video is not being supported by followers. The rituals are dull, repetitious, and affectionate. An adult who is stable and sober is constantly present in the home. There are ongoing pediatrician visits, and if there are developmental issues, as well as an entire community of people who are present in person rather than just in the comments. Instead of waiting until everything is on fire, this postpartum mental health care is proactive. It includes family therapy, setting boundaries online, and being ready to do things that might not seem cool but are crucial, including remaining at home while your body heals, asking for help without feeling embarrassed, and turning off the camera when the baby cries. Accountability and compassion are also discussed more here. On the internet, people adore villains. It also enjoys correcting others by giving them advice. That would make even the most resilient people blush. It's not a boxing bout, though. It's a baby's formative years. Accountability is essential as a parent. You cannot ignore your child's needs, but empathy is also essential, particularly when there is obvious overwhelm. The best thing anyone can do while observing is to refrain from revealing the child's private moments. Stop making assumptions about illnesses you can't identify and back treatments that put the parent's stability and security ahead of spectacles. It's an easy but difficult choice. You must behave in a manner consistent with the description if you genuinely care about keeping your child safe. This means there will be more appointments and less live streaming, more sleep schedules and fewer late nights, and more private repairs and fewer public disputes. Real therapy, not simply promises, should be emphasized while talking about substance abuse. If there is unresolved trauma and co-parenting seems difficult, treatment cannot be taken lightly. A legal structure and closely watched interactions may be required until everyone is well enough to cooperate. It's not glamorous at all. It's all love. While we're here, let's discuss the audience's role. Everyone has witnessed directly how an economic decline can be reversed by a camera. Even though sharing a sensitive video could seem like a way to promote awareness, it could permanently cast a child who never wanted attention in a digital shadow. Not all of the most successful initiatives appear to go viral. They may appear to be minding your business at times if you don't provide them with precise, useful information on professionals who can assist. They may appear to be steering clear of material that takes advantage of children. They may occasionally manifest as limits and empathy. What will happen next may be on your mind. The real distinction is in the decisions made off camera. If there are no more rumors, this serves as a warning to the adults. There may be a new beginning, greater stability, fewer controversies, and a youngster who is free to be a child. More agencies will get involved, more court dates will be set, and the internet will fabricate the tale for them if the cycle persists. Here, the cameras don't have to be the focal point, and so does the baby's health. There have been tender times if you have followed the story from the start. It's obvious that both parents adore their child. Love is a cornerstone, but unstructured. Love is chaos. Apart from love, noise is the outcome of a lack of accountability. That's when the shift from wild to stable love needs to happen. From staring at me to staring at him. He's asleep. He's secure. He is doing fine. Because the story can represent your own experiences, it might set you off. This serves as a reminder. It is a result of simple, unglamorous choices. When it's time, put the baby to sleep. Remember to show up for the next appointment. If you're afraid to ask a question, ask the nurse. Let the helpful friend do what needs to be done. Speak with a qualified professional or call a local helpline. If you're struggling with substance abuse or postpartum depression, not even the most resilient parents are flawless. They are resourceful. When the day is over, this has nothing to do with who posts the best clapback or who wins the argument. It's about a young man who deserves a peaceful, loving childhood and didn't ask for all of this. He ought to be safeguarded without a show, fed without commentary, and detained without cameras. Adults that consistently put him first are deserving of him. This is where I land. Then, the drama is loud, but the reality is quiet. The previous evening, the diaper bag was incredibly full before going to bed. A phone is actually placed face down. Being sober, showing up for appointments, owning up to mistakes, and trying again the next day are all ways to show the truth. In reality, no matter how big the internet gets, a youngster may sleep soundly knowing that his loved ones come first. This should be the plot's turning moment, if there is one. More sanctuary, less spectacle, because choosing stability in a world that feeds on upheaval is the most audacious narrative twist of all.